PepsiCo, one of the largest food and beverage companies globally, is renowned for its iconic soda, Pepsi, which has been a part of global pop culture for decades. Known for its bright blue can and memorable advertising campaigns featuring major celebrities, Pepsi is often associated with fun, youth, and refreshment. However, behind the fizzy exterior lies a more complex and sometimes troubling reality. Like many other companies in the industry, the multinational corporation has faced numerous criticisms over the years, ranging from environmental issues and unethical marketing practices to health concerns and labor violations. In this video, we will explore the controversies and challenges that have plagued PepsiCo, delving into the company's darker side. While PepsiCo has made significant strides in addressing some of these issues, the legacy of its past actions continues to raise important questions about the company's ethics and impact on society. One of the most significant criticisms of PepsiCo and the soda industry as a whole centers on the health impact of sugary beverages. Pepsi, like many carbonated soft drinks, contains high amounts of sugar, which has been linked to a range of health problems, including obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Despite growing public awareness of the health risks associated with excessive sugar consumption, PepsiCo and other soda companies have continued to aggressively market their products, often targeting vulnerable populations such as children and low-income communities. The rise of sugary beverages has been a major factor in the global obesity epidemic. According to the World Health Organization, obesity rates have tripled since 1975, with sugary drinks playing a significant role in this trend. In the United States, where soda consumption is particularly high, nearly 40% of adults are considered obese, and sugary drinks like Pepsi have been singled out as major contributors to the problem. PepsiCo has made efforts to address these concerns by introducing lower-calorie alternatives such as Diet Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar. The company has also pledged to reduce the sugar content in some of its products and promote healthier options. However, critics argue that these changes need to be revised and that PepsiCo continues to heavily rely on the sale of sugary drinks to drive profits. Furthermore, the marketing of diet or zero-sugar beverages has sparked its own controversy, with studies suggesting that artificial sweeteners used in these products may have negative health effects. Another major issue surrounding PepsiCo is its marketing practices, particularly its aggressive targeting of children and adolescents. PepsiCo has a long history of using celebrity endorsements, flashy advertisements, and sponsorships of youth-oriented events to promote its products to young consumers. This strategy has been highly effective in building brand loyalty among younger generations, but it has also raised ethical concerns. Children and teenagers are especially vulnerable to marketing tactics, as they may lack the critical thinking skills needed to evaluate the long-term health consequences of their choices. By marketing sugary, calorie-dense beverages to this demographic, PepsiCo has been accused of contributing to the rise in childhood obesity and related health problems. According to a report by the Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity, PepsiCo was one of the top spenders on advertising targeting children and teens, with a significant portion of its marketing budget dedicated to promoting sugary drinks. In response to these concerns, PepsiCo and other major food and beverage companies have pledged to adopt more responsible marketing practices. For example, PepsiCo is a member of the International Food and Beverage Alliance, which is committed to reducing advertising to children under 12 and promoting healthier products. However, watchdog groups argue that these self-regulatory initiatives are not enough, and that stricter government regulations are needed to protect young consumers from harmful marketing. In the 1940s and 50s, Pepsi targeted African-American customers, which led to some backlash within the company. In mid-20th century America, Pepsi took the bold step of actively marketing to African-American consumers who were still facing extensive segregation and oppression at the time. This push for inclusivity brought some regressive views inside the company to the surface. For instance, one executive dismayingly referred to the risk of becoming known as a Negro drink. This sentiment starkly encapsulates the prejudice and resistance facing efforts at racial progress and commerce at the time. Unfortunately, Pepsi also relied on crude stereotyping in certain past ads targeting minority groups. While commonplace then, this insensitive approach demonstrates that ethnicity-based marketing was developing ahead of broader social enlightenment. PepsiCo has faced significant criticism for its environmental footprint. As one of the largest producers of packaged beverages, the company generates millions of tons of plastic waste each year, with single-use plastic bottles becoming a symbol of the environmental damage caused by the beverage industry. Although PepsiCo has made some efforts to address the issue of plastic pollution, progress has been slow, and the company continues to contribute to the global plastic crisis. In addition to plastic pollution, PepsiCo's water usage has been controversial. Producing sugary beverages requires vast amounts of water, and the company has been accused of depleting water resources in regions where access to clean water is already limited. For example, in India, PepsiCo has faced protests and legal challenges over its water extraction practices, with local communities accusing the company of exacerbating water shortages for farmers and residents. To address these concerns, PepsiCo has launched sustainability initiatives to reduce its environmental impact, including setting ambitious goals for water conservation, waste reduction, and carbon emissions. For instance, the company has committed to making 100% of its packaging recyclable, compostable, or biodegradable by 2025 and achieving net zero emissions by 2040. However, critics argue that these initiatives do not go far enough to address the scale of the environmental challenges posed by the company's operations. PepsiCo has also faced criticism for its labor practices, with accusations of exploiting workers in its supply chain, particularly in developing countries where labor regulations may be weaker or less strictly enforced. Practices such as child labor, unsafe working conditions, and wage theft have been associated with some of PepsiCo's suppliers. In one notable case, PepsiCo faced allegations of human rights violations in its palm oil supply chain. Palm oil, a key ingredient in many of PepsiCo's snack products, has been linked to widespread deforestation, environmental destruction, and labor exploitation. In 2020, a report by Amnesty International found that workers on palm oil plantations supplying PepsiCo were subjected to abusive conditions, including forced labor and child labor. The report also documented cases of workers being paid below minimum wage and being exposed to hazardous chemicals without proper protection. PepsiCo has since taken steps to address these issues, including pledging to source sustainable palm oil and improving transparency in its supply chain. However, labor rights groups continue to call for stronger action to ensure that workers in PepsiCo's supply chain are treated fairly and ethically. In the United States, PepsiCo has faced its share of labor disputes as well. The company has been involved in numerous conflicts with labor unions, with workers alleging unfair treatment, wage stagnation, and unsafe working conditions. In some cases, PepsiCo has been accused of engaging in anti-union practices, making it difficult for workers to organize and advocate for better conditions. In 2017, PepsiCo found itself at the center of a public relations disaster with the release of a controversial advertisement featuring reality TV star Kendall Jenner. The ad, which depicted Jenner joining a protest and offering a can of Pepsi to a police officer as a gesture of peace, was widely criticized for trivializing social justice movements, particularly the Black Lives Matter movement. Critics argued that the ad co-opted the imagery of real protests for commercial gain, reducing serious issues like police brutality and racial injustice to a marketing gimmick. The backlash against PepsiCo was swift and intense, with many accusing the company of being tone-deaf and insensitive. In response, PepsiCo quickly pulled the ad and apologized, acknowledging that it had missed the mark. However, the controversy highlighted the dangers of corporations attempting to align themselves with social and political movements without fully understanding the context or the issues at stake. PepsiCo's rise to the top of the global food and beverage industry is undeniably impressive. With a portfolio of iconic brands and a presence in nearly every corner of the world, PepsiCo has become a powerhouse in the consumer goods sector. However, as the company has grown, PepsiCo's success has come at a cost, from the health impact of sugary beverages to unethical marketing, environmental degradation, and labor violations. While the company has tried to address some of these issues through sustainability initiatives and corporate responsibility pledges, critics argue that more meaningful action is needed to rectify the harm caused by its operations. Ultimately, PepsiCo's dark reality reminds us that even the most successful corporations must be held accountable for their impact on society and the environment. As consumers become increasingly conscious of the ethical implications of their purchasing decisions, companies like PepsiCo will need to do more than just offer products. They will need to demonstrate a genuine commitment to making the world a better place. Until then, the dark side of PepsiCo's success will continue to cast a shadow over its global empire. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you.